Fighting along eastern Ukraine's front lines during the Russian invasion of Ukraine has often centered on intense localized battles between Ukrainian assault units and Russian motorized formations. One such clash occurred near the strategic city of Pokrovsk, where Ukraine's 3rd Separate Assault Brigade, a formation with roots connected to the Azov Regiment, engaged elements of Russia's 72nd Separate Motor Rifle Brigade in a fierce engagement on the Eastern Front. Pokrovsk lies in western Donetsk Oblast and serves as an important logistical and transportation hub for Ukrainian forces operating across the Donbass region. Control of the surrounding road network allows armies to move troops, ammunition, and armored vehicles between frontline sectors. Because of this, Russian forces attempted to pressure Ukrainian defenses around the city, hoping to disrupt supply routes and force Ukrainian units to retreat from nearby defensive lines. The 3rd Separate Assault Brigade is known for using aggressive small unit tactics. In the clash near Pokrovsk, Ukrainian commanders reportedly used a multi-phase assault designed to destabilize the Russian defensive line before launching a direct attack. The operation typically involved several steps. 1. Reconnaissance and drone surveillance. Ukrainian reconnaissance teams and drones identified Russian trench systems, armored vehicle positions, and supply routes used by the 72nd Brigade. 2. Precision artillery strikes. Once positions were mapped, Ukrainian artillery units targeted command posts, vehicle concentrations, and defensive fortifications to weaken the Russian line. 3. Rapid infantry assault. Assault groups from the 3rd Brigade advanced in small, highly mobile teams supported by armored vehicles. Their goal was to penetrate the weakened sectors of the Russian defense and force a retreat. Collapse of the Russian defensive line. During the fighting, Ukrainian troops reportedly broke through multiple Russian positions held by elements of the 72nd Motor Rifle Brigade. Intense close-quarters combat occurred in trenches, tree lines, and destroyed buildings around the battlefield. According to Ukrainian accounts of the battle, several Russian defensive positions were overrun. Russian armored vehicles were destroyed or abandoned. Some Russian troops withdrew after their flanks were threatened. Ukrainian forces captured prisoners and equipment. The breakthrough forced Russian troops to retreat from parts of the front line near Pokrovsk, allowing Ukrainian units to stabilize the sector. Many soldiers within the 3rd Separate Assault Brigade previously served in units connected to the Azov movement. These fighters brought experience from earlier battles in eastern Ukraine and urban combat environments. Although the battle near Pokrovsk did not decide the wider campaign in Donetsk Oblast, It demonstrated how Ukrainian assault brigades could defeat larger mechanized formations through speed, coordination, and intelligence. The engagement also showed how modern warfare in eastern Ukraine often revolves around smaller tactical victories that gradually shape the broader front line. Battles like this one continue to influence the balance of control across the Donbass region as both sides attempt to gain strategic advantage. Ukrainian intelligence warns Moscow may still attempt renewed offensives towards Zaporizhia, Pokrovsk, and Huliapol despite recent battlefield setbacks. Russia's planned spring offensive has so far failed to achieve its objectives, with Ukrainian forces preventing large-scale breakthroughs and destroying significant amounts of Russian equipment. President Volodymyr Zelensky said, speaking to journalists, Zelensky said Russian troops have been unable to advance using armored vehicles and have instead resorted to small infiltration groups and constant assault attempts along parts of the front line, according to Ukrinform. The spring campaign, as it had been planned, drowned in this spring for the Russians. They were unable to advance, Zelensky said. They are carrying out offensive actions, but they are all the same. They cannot break through anywhere. We are burning their equipment, he added. According to Zelensky, the inability to breach Ukrainian defenses with mechanized forces has forced Russian troops to rely on smaller-scale infiltration operations rather than coordinated offensives. He noted that Ukrainian troops have continued to repel these attacks across multiple sections of the front, preventing Moscow from launching a major operation despite persistent assaults. Our warriors are destroying them, Zelensky emphasized. Zelensky pointed to earlier Ukrainian successes as a key factor behind the stalled Russian advance, including operations around Kupiansk in 2025 and recent fighting in southern Ukraine. He said Ukrainian pressure forced Russia to redeploy units between different sectors of the front. We saw how they began moving troops from the Donetsk direction here to the south because they were afraid that the armed forces of Ukraine would move further than those 430 kilometers, Zelensky explained. Despite the setbacks, Zelensky cautioned that Russia has not abandoned plans to continue offensive operations. Ukrainian intelligence indicates that Moscow may attempt renewed attacks in several areas, including the Zaporizhia, Pokrovsk, and Huliapol directions. All of this will remain. After Kupiansk, they will pull back, and then they will want Kupiansk again, Zelensky remarked. He also described Russian activity in the Sumy and Chernihiv regions as largely demonstrative, rather than part of a serious offensive effort. What is happening in the Sumy and Chernihiv regions is just some kind of demonstrations. There are no forces there for now, Zelensky noted, adding that Russian troops had been redeployed from those areas to the Donbass and later further south. Zelensky said intelligence briefings had revealed Russian operational maps marking territories Moscow intends to capture in the coming years. He said these plans indicate that the Kremlin has no intention of ending the war. This shows that they definitely have no thoughts about stopping the war, Zelensky stressed. Why do we react to the words of one leader or another that Putin wants to end the war? He does not want to. Otherwise, his maps should look different, he added. Zelensky argued that Russia's continued investment in missile production, rather than civilian infrastructure, also points to preparations for a prolonged conflict. Recent Ukrainian operations have also reclaimed territory from Russian forces. Zelensky previously said Ukrainian defense forces regained control of roughly 435 square kilometers in southern Ukraine.
Справа отход!